Leviathan's Breath is the only heavy bow in Destiny 2, and it only came out a few weeks ago, and it is actually pretty good considering it is a bow. So first off, it has the exotic or the intrinsic perk of Big Game Hunter, and what this says is it fires a massive heavy bolt that staggers unshielded enemy combatants, and it is also strong against unstoppable champions. What this means is it basically fires a big massive arrow, and it staggers any unshielded enemy combatants if it doesn't kill them. And it also is very strong against unstoppable champions, and those are the champions that just keep running at you basically, that don't stagger or anything like that, they just keep going. The second main perk is Leviathan's Sigh, and what this says is when the bow is fully drawn, the bolt creates a large concussive blast that knocks enemies back. So what this means is basically whenever you pull the bow all the way back and it's fully charged and you release the shot and it hits an enemy, it'll create a big blast that knocks enemies back and staggers them essentially. So not only does the bow do a lot of damage against unstoppable champions, it staggers unshielded enemies, and it also staggers enemy combatants around the one that you hit initially because of the blast that it creates when fully charged. There are two other perks, but they don't really do anything. So Chain Bowstring, which is just saying that the heavy duty bowstring is of Cabal design, and it also slightly increases accuracy and increases stability. That is because on the bow model it actually does have a chain as the bowstring, which is unique. It then also says Fiberglass Arrow Shaft, which says heavy and consistent, greatly increases accuracy but slightly decreases stability. So that's just because the arrow is made of fiberglass, I would say. So those are the perks really. So as for the appearance of the bow, it actually looks pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. It fits into the Red War sort of theme, and the lore behind it is actually pretty interesting. So the ornament for the weapon you can get from Eververse, of course, and I don't really like it, to be fair. It's got like bones on it and stuff, and it just doesn't look very appealing to me. Some people might like it, to be fair, but I just don't really like it. But the lore is pretty interesting. So the weapon launched with no lore, so some weapons in the game were lacking lore tabs, but they were added a few weeks into Shadowkeep, I believe, so it now does have a lore tab, and it essentially, off the top of my head, it essentially says that Callus used to have a scion who is basically an assassin, so they went around and they just assassinated people that Callus didn't like, and they used this bow, Leviathan's Breath, as their weapon basically. Whenever Gaul attacked the tower, Callus saw this as the prime opportunity to basically kill Gaul, so he sent his scion assassin person to go and assassinate Gaul, which obviously didn't go very well considering we have their bow now and we also killed Gaul. So the scion died, and that's it. So yeah, I was under the impression that Leviathan's Breath was a bow that was made by Banshee, but it's not. It's just Banshee actually found the bow when he was escaping from the tower, it would seem. And yeah, so the scion didn't really do the job, but we now have the bow, so it wasn't all for nothing, I suppose. For PvE, the weapon is pretty good. It's pretty fun to use, and it does do a good bit of damage. I think you can hold 10 bolts before you run out of ammo completely, so it can have 10 bolts at maximum, I think. And you tend to spawn in with max ammo in it as well. Most of the time with heavy ammo, or with any gun really, you spawn in without max ammo, but for some reason with Leviathan's Breath I always spawn in with the maximum amount of ammo. Not really sure why, maybe it's just because it is a bow, but yeah, it's just a bit weird. But it can hold up to 10 bolts at a time, I believe. It does pull back pretty slowly. Its draw time is very, very slow, but that is just because it is a heavy bow essentially. It does do a lot of damage, however it doesn't do more damage than the likes of Whisper or Darcy or something, so you kind of have to temper your expectations there. But it is pretty good, and it's the important thing is it's fun to use, and it does look pretty cool, and it does do damage. So it's about all you could really want from a heavy bow, I would say. The quest for it isn't too difficult, thankfully. It's not too long. It requires you to do Nightfalls, Strikes, Gambit, or Gambit Prime. So you do one of the two. Nightfalls and Gambit Prime grant the most progress, but you can do Gambit or just normal strikes if you want to. I did Gambit, the normal version of Gambit, because I was trying to get the SMG, the Pinnacle SMG from Gambit Exit Strategy, I think it's called. So I was doing that at the same time, so it's whatever way you want to do it, but that's it really. So it's pretty good in PvE, is the important thing. It obviously annihilates red bars, orange bars I'd say, yeah, it does pretty good damage too. Usually kills them in one shot, and yellow bars, obviously depending on how yellow of a bar it is, it does do pretty good amounts of damage. Against bosses it does do good amounts of damage, but obviously you're better off using actual DPS weapons rather than a heavy bow. But it is pretty good. In Gambit, I did record this video before, but the audio got messed up and I didn't play Gambit with Leviathan's Breath, but I have now. So I have some Gambit clips, I believe, that I'll play now. And the bow definitely shines in Gambit. I'm very happy to say that it is actually very good in Gambit. It's a good counter to the likes of Truth, and that's, well, not a counter necessarily, but it's a good alternative to Truth and Death Singer, I think is what it's called. So, or Deathbringer even. So it's very good it's a very good alternative to those two rocket launchers for the pure reason that it is a heavy bow and it insta-kills any invaders or any opposing guardians. Essentially just insta-kills them. So as long as you can aim, it insta-kills, which is very nice because it's kind of the way Queenbreaker used to be, where it would insta-kill anybody. I don't think it insta-kills people now, and there's a lot less aim assist. However, this gun doesn't have that much aim assist, but it is very, very powerful if you can hit your shots, and I didn't actually find it too difficult to hit your shots, so it's very good in Gambit, and it also actually, as I said, it does do quite a bit of damage as well, so it's not like you're sacrificing your heavy slot for a PvP weapon, you're actually able to use it for DPS as well, which is pretty nice. So I quite like it. I think you get 2 bolts from the synths on the wall. So if you pick up the heavy from the recharging heavy on the wall around the bank, it'll give you 2 shots, I believe, but if you pick up a heavy brick off the ground, it gives you 3. So, but yeah, it's pretty good. It definitely shines in Gambit though. In PvP, or Crucible, I would say it would be similar. It would be very similar. Obviously it wouldn't shine just as much because there are better PvP weapons. However, because Gambit is Gambit, it works better. But I would say it probably does one-shot people in Crucible as well. However, I played Crucible extensively over the past, well, not this week, but last week, and I didn't see it at all. So, yeah. But I would say it probably would be pretty good in PvP. But it definitely shines in Gambit. If you want to use Leviathan's Breath properly, use it in Gambit and invade. Or kill invaders with it. One of the two. It's very good though. That's the important thing. But that's really it. It's a fun weapon. It's definitely unique considering it's the only heavy bow in the game. And interestingly enough, I think there's what, heavy arms loader and there's light arms loader or something like that as mods, and they reduce the reload speed for certain weapons. And of course the light arms loader reloads faster for, you know, the light weapons like ARs and SMGs and stuff and hand cannons. However, for heavy weapon loader it basically reloads heavy weapons faster, like shotguns, like rocket launchers, linear fusion rifles, that sort of thing. However, and sniper rifles. However, light arms loader reduces the time it takes to reload a bow, and this also applies to Leviathan's Breath, even though it's a heavy weapon. So even though Leviathan's Breath is a heavy weapon, it benefits from small or light arms loader as opposed to heavy arms loader. Just a wee fact. I just thought I would throw that in there because I messed around with it and it did actually benefit Leviathan's Breath quite significantly. So if you want to shoot a wee bit faster with Leviathan's Breath, use light arms loader or small arms loader or whatever it's called, not heavy arms loader because it doesn't benefit it at all. Only the light or small, whatever it is, version of it does. It's a fun weapon. I very much recommend using it, and that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like, maybe even subscribe me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.